bananas as well as coffee too. Hey, you can't see this. I'm from Pennsylvania, and I grew up in a small town outside of Pittsburgh. My dad had a great work ethic. He put in double shifts at the steel mill to support my sisters and my college education. I had a pretty wonderful upbringing, but I do remember one thing that I didn't enjoy at the time. I had to come home for dinner every night at 5:30. I detested this because I would be playing with my friends in the woods, or, as I became older, the woods possibly doing, I should not have been doing it, but now I see how beneficial it was. Normally, I would be heading to the gym at this time, but because we are on vacation and the weather is lovely, I'm going for a run. Okay, I stretched out in preparation for my run. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, me bar nawaj. Tis I started working out when I was, I think 19. Growing up as a teenager, I was just a scrawny kid. I probably weighed $135, $140, and I was a shy kid too, so it was like I had to do something to generate attention from the ladies. I started working out just in my house with like a little cheap weight set, a little $100 weight set. You know, I did that for probably a year and wasn't all about it. It was just kind of something I did to, look a little better. But then once I got to college and, started going to the weight room, that's when I really got hooked on. It started going every day and, just reading and learning everything I could about exercise and diet. I just wanted that knowledge, so I did whatever I could to learn. And most people know me as being, the ripped up bald guy from porn. But the last 2 years in Hawaii, I've been pretty content, pretty chill, so I've got a little bit soft. It's time to get ripped up, get hard again, get these abs back. All right, made it to the tide pools. It's time to cool off after I graduated college. I knew I wanted to get the chief year out of Pennsylvania. I just hate the cold weather. When I was in college, someone actually planted the seed in my head to be becoming a porn star in the future. A girl that I had went to high school with was in the business, and she had told me that I would be perfect for it, but I was 21 years old in college and wasn't really that interested at that time. I got a job in construction. It was tough. It was, 6 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. Getting into porn had always been in the back of my head. I started just answering ads and just doing whatever I could to try to get in when I decided porn was an option and I wanted to pursue it. I quit my job and packed up all my ad and drove out to LA. I found some gigs on Craigslist that it didn't pay anything. You did them for free, but it was legitimate. Craigslist is really bad though. If you're trying to get into porn, 99% of ads on there are completely fake. That's why a lot of people are, well, you have to do gay porn first before you get into porn. You have to jerk off with this guy and then we'll let you have sex with a girl. So you really don't have to do gay porn first. So don't let anybody tell you that. And then once I got into porn, I kind of just always waited for it to end. It was kind of too good to be true. Telling my parents was the hardest part. I think I didn't tell them for a year. I lied to them and told them I was still working my other job just because I didn't know it was going to last and I didn't want to tell them if it wasn't going to last. So one day I was like, all right, I gotta tell them, it's not stopping. It's not coming to an end. So I just called him one night like I always do. And I was like, well, I have something to tell you. Guys haven't really been doing my part-time job. I've been doing porn. And they're kind of questioning me like, what, seriously? And they're like, what exactly are you doing? I was like, well, exactly. I'm having sex with girls for money. And, I assured them that, I was safe. I wasn't on drugs. I was happy. My sister really helped me out with my parents because she talked to them too. And she was living in LA at the time. We're from, Pennsylvania. So doing porn there is completely crazy. So she was like, for Lay, it's not abnormal after that. It was cool. We don't really talk about it. They ask about how everything's going, but definitely no details. I would say I'm a pretty down-to-earth guy, and I think my friends from college and high school would tell you I'm pretty much the same person. Now that I was back then, my main goal in life is really to just be happy and be stress-free and not live in other people's rat race. Living in LA is a perfect example of that. I mean, on the freeways alone, it's just everyone is in a race to get somewhere, to get to work, to get here, to get there. And it just seemed crazy to me. I never really believed in the white picket fence, get married, you get the dog, and then comes the baby, and try to get promotions and move up the ladder in your career and mow your lawn. That never appealed to me. I always just wanted to be nomadic and free to travel wherever I wanted and pick up and live for a year. here and live for a year there, and so many people are just, kind of robots day by day doing the same thing and not really enjoying life. And there's just so much more to this world than, a 9-to-5 job, and nothing gets under my skin more. When people tell you, you have to do it this way, you don't have to do it that way, you can do it whatever way you want. I'm in a really good place in my life right now, and it's only going to get better started. My own production company, and having Kissa, she's just amazing, loves to share. What could be better, really, than having a girlfriend and 2 dogs, Primo and Luna, who adore them and would sacrifice anything for them? Living in Hawaii for the past 2 years has been a blessing. But as you may know, I enjoy working out and staying healthy. I eat a lot of healthy food, and yoga is one of the things I like to do to stay young and feel tau for intense. I'm content and glad to say that I'm living my life as I see fit. So I'm going to stretch, do some yoga, and unwind before bed. There's nothing better than listening to the soothing sound of the ocean.